Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am the Divine One and I'm bringing you yet another assortment. Welcome back, family. Long time no hear, huh? Look, the beginning of this year has been hectic with work, so this is the soonest I can get back with some content, okay? So I just wanted to wish everybody a very late Happy New Year. I'm on CPT time right now, color people time, so, and yet we press on. We do need to have a real talk about the looming TikTok ban set for January 19th. Let me tell you, this isn't just about data privacy. No, this is about control. Control over our voice, our power, and our bag. TikTok empowered creators and small businesses in ways that corporate America just can't stand. Now we're seeing the Billionaires Boys Club, Zuckerberg, Musk, and their government cheerleaders scrambling to prop up their crumbling empires. Meanwhile, alternatives like RedNote and Fanbase are rising, showing us that when one door closes, another one opens. So grab your tea and let's get into why TikTok has a target on its back, how this is a part of a larger fight against white male mediocrity, and what it all means for you. Because trust me, this is bigger than just one app.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
You said today, as you often say, that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
Mr. Chu, as CEO of TikTok, why have you not directed your engineers to change this source code?
Congressman, thank you for the question.
Have you directed them to change the source code?
Like what we are offering and
Yes
my
or
fourth
no?
commitment?
Have you directed them to change that source code?
Congressman, if you give me a bit of time to just
No,
explain this.
I don't. It's a yes or no question. Have you directed your engineers to change that source code?
I'm not sure I understand.
Why are you allowing TikTok to continue to have the capacity for censorship, and yet you claim here that you don't? Let me remind you of something. Do you realize that making false and misleading statements to Congress is a federal crime?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So have you directed your engineers to change that source code?
I am giving third-party access monitoring by experts. And Congressman, you are an expert on this. You could agree with me that no other company
TikTok
does
source
this.
code is the same as Doan? What percentage?
I can get back to you on the specifics.
Okay, I'd appreciate that. Where was the source code for TikTok developed? Was it developed in China or in the United States?
It's a global collaborative effort, like a lot of
Was it
code for a
developed
lot of
in,
companies.
was it developed in China? Some of it?
Some of it is.
Okay, at ByteDance. When it's compiled in the compilation process, can bytecode be manipulated? We've talked a lot about source code. What about the bytecode, the ones and zeros that actually execute on the device? Can it be manipulated? Yes.
Congressman, to give you comfort, that's why we're giving third-party monitors.
Yes,
As an expert, I think you can agree that very few companies
I've got
offer
the
to do this.
report here by Citizen Lab. I want to read you something from Ron Diebert. Specifically, in your written testimony to Congress, you stated on page 9, Citizen Lab found that there was no overt data transmission by TikTok to the Chinese government and that TikTok did not contact any servers within China. You implied that Citizen Lab exonerated TikTok from any information sharing with China. Well, the director of Citizen Lab saw this and issued a statement correcting the record yesterday. And I'm quoting Ron Diebert, the director of the lab. I am disappointed that TikTok executives continue citing the Citizen Lab's research in their statements to government as somehow exculpatory. I've called them out on this in the past, and it's unfortunate that I have to do it again, unquote. He goes on to say, and I quote, we even speculated about possible mechanisms through which the Chinese government might use unconventional techniques to obtain TikTok user data via pressure on ByteDance, end of quote. Mr. Chu, you sent Congress written testimony citing this lab as a support of your claim that China cannot access user data, U.S. user data. And now this lab has come out to say We never said that. That's misleading, Mr. Chu. I hope you understand what that is. That's misleading. Mr. Chu, this is yet another instance of TikTok attempting to mislead Americans about what their technology is capable of and who has access to their information. Madam Chair, I'd like to
Madam Chair, I would
enter
like
the
to respond to
statement
that
by
very
Ron
quickly,
Liebert
please.
and the Citizens Lab into the record.
Without objection.
With
so
that, I
ordered.
yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair yields to the gentleman from Maryland.
Revealed, and this is from Twitter shadow banning tweets from conservative commentators, activists, even doctors. Yet back in 2018, Twitter founder Jack Dorsey testified to Congress under oath that it was not happening at all. Watch this.
Are you censoring people?
No.
Twitter shadow banning prominent Republicans. It's bad. Is that true?
No.
No, it is true. Independent journalist Barry Weiss revealing conservative commentator Charlie Kirk's account was flagged as a, quote, do not amplify, unquote, in an attempt to limit his tweets from gaining.
Mr. Chu, do you agree that TikTok is controlled by the CCP?
No.
Okay, I thought you'd say that. I disagree, as you thought I might say. Here's why I disagree. Your parent company is ByteDance, right?
That's correct.
It is correct. So, many of the workers who work at ByteDance, they're Communist Party members, right?
I wouldn't know.
Well, I think, for example, the chief editor at ByteDance, Zhang Vuping, is the Communist Party secretary, correct?
He works on the Chinese business, not on TikTok.
Right. He works for ByteDance, the parent
He works
company.
on the Chinese business.
Right. The parent company of TikTok.
The Chinese business is called Douyin.
Yeah, but it's all associated with ByteDance, right?
So ByteDance owns a number of businesses.
Right.
They are
you all report to ByteDance. Everybody's part of ByteDance. Okay? And do you know of any other employees that work for ByteDance that are part of the Chinese Communist Party?
Like I said, ByteDance owns Chinese businesses and they operate in China.
You don't know how many, but you acknowledge many must be card-carrying members of the CCP, right?
In the Chinese business, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the CCP holds what's called a golden share in ByteDance that allows the CCP to control one board seat in ByteDance. That's publicly
That's
reported.
not correct.
It's not correct. It's been publicly reported. They admitted to it.
You can on our website we have updated it, so we can give people more transparent information on this. They have a share in a subsidiary that is only for the Chinese business. It has nothing to do with TikTok, and it's for the purposes of content licensing in China.
So there's not an internal CCP committee, which is a regular thing that happens in China. They have a CCP committee internally inside the company.
I run TikTok. I cannot represent the Chinese
ByteDance.
business.
Talking about ByteDance. No arrangement in ByteDance? So
Again,
here's the main point of concern. China's 2017 national intelligence law states very clearly that, quote, any organization or citizen shall support, assist, and cooperate with state intelligence work in accordance with the law and maintain the secrecy of all knowledge of state intelligence work. In other words, ByteDance and also your TikTok employees that live in China, they must cooperate with Chinese intelligence whenever they are called upon. And if they are called upon, they're bound to secrecy. That would include you. So, Mr. Chu, if the CCP tells ByteDance to turn over all data that TikTok has collected inside the U.S., even within Project Texas, do they have to do so, according to Chinese law?
Congressman, first, I'm Singaporean.
That's fine, but there are employees of yours and ByteDance is in China.
We understand this concern. In my opening statement, we said, we hear these concerns, we didn't try to avoid them or trivialize them. We built something where we take that data and put it out of reach. This is what we did. We put it out of reach.
Out of reach, but they own you.
No, we put it out of reach by storing them.
ByteDance owns TikTok. If ByteDance is and the CCP owns ByteDance because the CCP owns everybody in China. And so by law, they can make them do whatever they want, and they say that by law, you can't tell anyone about it. So they can make you hand over that data. Is that correct?
Data is stored here in American soil by an American company overseen by American
We thought that, but leaked audio from 80 internal TikTok meetings shows that U.S. user data has been repeatedly accessed from China when you said it hasn't been. And here's the other thing, following back on my colleague's line of questioning, in your own privacy policy, it says that you may share information within your so-called corporate group. Is ByteDance part of that corporate group?
If you're talking about the share of the entity with the share, like I shared with the previous...
Is ByteDance part of the corporate group?
ByteDance as a holding company is part of the corporate group, yes.
It's part of the corporate group.
Yeah.
Okay, so Your own privacy policy says you have to share data with ByteDance. And if the CCP says, hey, ByteDance, you're going to do what we say, and you can't tell anyone about it because by law, according to that 2017 national intelligence law, they have to do it. That's our concern. Maybe you haven't done it yet, but my point is that you might have to. And that's where our concerns come from. I mean, over 300 TikTok employees have worked for China's state-run propaganda media. That's just from looking at their LinkedIn profiles. Okay, so and my last point is this. I want to say this to all the teenagers out there and TikTok influencers who think we're just old and out of touch and don't know what we're talking about, trying to take away your favorite app. You may not care that your data is being accessed now, but it will be one day when you do care about it. And here's the real problem. With data comes power. They can choose what you see and how you see it. They can make you believe things that are not true. They can encourage you to engage in behavior that will destroy your life. Even if it is not happening yet, it could in the future. The long-term goal of the Chinese Communist Party is the demise of the American power, and that starts with our youth. At any moment, they could demand that all of TikTok's data be used to design an AI algorithm with the sole purpose of promoting Chinese interests and destroying our society from within. You want to know why why Democrats and Republicans have come together on this? That's why we are so concerned. Thank you, and I yield back.
Revealed, and this is from Twitter shadow banning tweets from conservative commentators, activists, even doctors. Yet back in 2018, Twitter founder Jack Dorsey testified to Congress under oath that it was not happening at all. Watch this.
Are you censoring people?
No.
Twitter shadow banning prominent Republicans. It's bad. Is that true?
No.
No, it is true. Independent journalist Barry Weiss revealing conservative commentator Charlie Kirk's account was flagged as a, quote, do not amplify, unquote, in an attempt to limit his tweets from gaining...
Did I hear you say in your opening statement that there's no link between mental health and social media use?
Senator, what I said is I think it's important to look at the science. I know people widely talk about this as if that is something that's already been proven. And I think that the bulk of the scientific evidence does not support that.
Well, really, let me just remind you of some of the science from your own company. Instagram studied the effect of your platform on teenagers. Let me just read you some quotes from the Wall Street Journal's report on this. Company researchers found that Instagram is harmful for a sizable percentage of teenagers, most notably teenage girls. Here's a quote from your own study. Quote, we make body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teen girls. Here's another quote. Teens blamed Instagram, this is your study, for increases in the rate of anxiety and depression. This reaction was unprompted and consistent across all groups. That's your study.
Senator, we try to understand the feedback and how people feel about the services. We can improve.
Wait a minute, your own study says that you make life worse for 1 in 3 teenage girls. You increase
Senator,
anxiety and depression. That's what it says, and you're here testifying to us in public that there's no link.
Senator,
and yet you
that's
keep
not true.
right on doing what you're doing. Right?
That's not true. That's not true.
Let me show you some other facts I know that you're familiar with. Wait a minute. That's not a question. That's not a question. Those are facts, Mr. Zuckerberg. That's not a question.
Those aren't facts.
Facebook would always be free. Is that still your objective?
Senator, yes, there will always be a version of Facebook that is free. It is our mission to try to help connect everyone around the world and to bring the world closer together. In order to do that, we believe that we need to offer a service that everyone can afford, and we're committed to doing that.
Well, if so, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
I see.
I've been on the app RedNote for about 4 hours now, and I am dead. The Chinese people are trolling everyone. They're saying, give me your data. Hi, I'm Chinese spy number. Welcome to join RedNote. Make sure you post enough selfies every day. Are your privacy data? They are trolling Americans on there. This is so funny. If you guys don't have the app yet, honestly, it's so wholesome. It's so cute there. If TikTok is going to be banned in the US, I want to be where the Americans go. I'm sorry. I want to be where everybody's going. So everyone's so nice on there. This is better than Reels. I'm so sorry.
Hey guys, just want to make a quick video about Xiaohongshu, introducing you guys to this platform. So tip number one, we mainly use this platform for searching for suggestions, such as for restaurants, such as for shopping malls, even for like makeup tips. And secondly, this platform is mainly Chinese speaking, but do feel free to speak English and post English content because I believe there are a lot more English speaking people on this platform nowadays, and like we need to build this community, and there are a lot of celebrities trying to register for the account here. So what matters more is like we build the community starting from now. And thirdly, I want to say never stop sharing your voice, because a platform such as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, YouTube, Xiaohongshu should never be banned. Like people sharing their actual voice there, like about wildfire in LA, about Gaza, and a lot of other things, right? These are real people's voice. What matters more is that we never stop making content. So yeah, welcome to Xiaohongshu. Let me know what your thoughts, let me know what you're interested in. I speak both Chinese and English, so like, feel free to ask me any questions.
On Monday, RedNote became the most downloaded app on Apple's App Store in the US by users who call themselves TikTok refugees.
Hello, a big welcome for my refugee friends.
Hey friends from TikTok, I'm Abe from China, and I just want to say it's so amazing to have you here.
The US will announce on the 19th of January whether it's banning TikTok. So people are moving over to RedNote in case the ban takes place. RedNote has already got 300 million monthly users. And in case you've never used it before, it's a bit like a combination between TikTok and Instagram. At the moment, it's mainly popular with young people in Mandarin-speaking countries for its mix of lifestyle, fashion, and dating content. RedNote seems to have welcomed new users with open arms, but just like TikTok, there's also been concerns of censorship when it comes to criticism on the app of the Chinese government. And in Taiwan, public officials are restricted from using it due to alleged security risks of Chinese software. But these security concerns haven't stopped users in the US.
I got on RedNote for like 2 seconds. I got right the fuck up off of it. I don't got time for all of that Chinese shit. I don't understand a damn thing on that motherfucking app. And I've changed the language to English, and half of the shit is still in Chinese. It was giving me a brain aneurysm.
If you don't know, now you know. They trying to ban TikTok. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't going back to Instagram, Facebook. We on that RedNote, baby. The #1 app on American App Store, man. This shit is beautiful. Look, I might not have a job in the next week, but we about to learn Mandarin, baby. I got my account over there. First video, still the same username, alias Yaps. And this is what TikTok is all about, bro. It's the community. Like, we really changing the scope of shit. TikTok gives us the reach to have powers through numbers, bro. Like, with no other app, we couldn't do no shit like this. And I ain't even gonna lie, bro. RedNote is already lit, boy. Like, we got international fine shit. I ain't never seen no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then like the content they got over there is really different. They showing like all these crazy malls and all these crazy like structures they got. Like it's pretty interesting. And when you really think about it, we have never really like directly been in contact with people from another country because they kind of keep it segregated. So yeah, man, the great migration is here. They actually calling us TikTok refugees, which is kind of funny, bro. But we couldn't do this shit with no other community, bro. RedNote is the move.
I know the government is pissed. Because they really thought like, oh, we're going to get them to get off this Chinese app. Excuse me, I've been eating. We're going to get them off that Chinese app, okay? They're taking all of the business away from Mark Zuckerberg, okay? And we can't have it. They're learning too much. They having too much fun over there on this Chinese app, okay? We got to do something about it. Just for our asses. To find the next Chinese app and be over there already. People already have thousands of followers on RedNote. Thousands. Okay? I seen a girl, she made a post. She almost got like 50K likes already. And then the Chinese people are making welcome videos for us on RedNote. They're welcoming us with open arms. Whole videos. They're teaching us Mandarin. Okay, so we are not just leaving the app, but we're leaving the app and we're learning Mandarin. They're welcoming us. They're making whole videos. They using the lingo. They doing trends. They already got American sounds over there that people is using for their videos. I can't imagine all of the other social networks that came together and was like, let's put some money behind this. Let's push the government, you know what I'm saying, to abort and get TikTok up out of there just for us to go to the next Chinese app. And the gag about this Chinese app is it's already in the App Store and on the Google Play Store. So what can you say about it? It's not illegal. They was talking about VPNs and you might have to get a VPN. You might got to do this. We already on RedNote. Going up. People doing numbers. Do you know how gagged they are? The government is gagged. They tried to close that door, but we opened another one. Hallelujah.
And please understand something. RedNote was not made for us. Okay? And I'm not saying that to discourage you from joining or anything like that. I'm just saying, as you're navigating through that app, please understand that it's not made for us. So a lot of people are going from TikTok to RedNote, which is like the Chinese version of TikTok, basically. Now, I've done a little bit of research. I see a lot of people, garnering views, talking about RedNote. Some good, some bad. Some are talking more about the interface of RedNote, how it's like a little bit better than TikTok. But then there's some people who are talking about some people being racist over there. I mean, people are being racist over here. I don't, you know what I mean? I think TikTok has taken some measures to, prevent people from being crazy with it. Also, RedNote is number 3 in the App Store as I'm recording this video. And I think Facebook is number 9 now. So I do like the way we're standing on business. I haven't made me an account yet, but you guys can comment if you're on RedNote, how you feel about it, and, just give me some pointers and things of that nature.
TikTok is set to be removed from the Apple and Android stores on January 19th. The Supreme Court has spoken, and it looks like everything is about to follow suit. But let's keep it real. Is this about justice? Absolutely not. If data privacy were the only issue, platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, X, whatever they're calling themselves these days, would be getting the same energy. TikTok, however, poses a unique threat. With 170 million users in the US and millions of small businesses thriving on the app, it's a platform that's empowering everyday people, especially those outside the system's chosen ones. So what happens if TikTok is banned? People will adapt, but not without consequences. RedNote and other alternatives like Fanbase are stepping up, but the transition won't be smooth. Creators relying solely on TikTok for income may find themselves scrambling, especially if they haven't diversified their revenue streams. And here's the kicker. Congress knows this. They proposed delaying the enactment of the TikTok ban for over 200 days, not because they care about the creators, but because they're protecting their own investment. Many of those lawmakers and tech executives have significant financial stakes in US-based platforms like Meta and Snap. The goal isn't to protect us, it's to ensure their bottom line. But why TikTok is under attack? I have 2 main reasons. Reason number 1, financial freedom. Why do you think platforms like TikTok scare them so much? Because they've created a space where people can bypass the traditional 9-to-5 grind and achieve financial independence and build personal wealth. From content creators pulling 6 figures to small businesses finding new customers, TikTok disrupts the economic hierarchy, and that scares the elites. These aren't just influencers. These are small business owners, artists, educators, and everyday people who found a way to monetize their talent without needing permission from corporate gatekeepers. Let's not forget, TikTok isn't the first app to face this level of scrutiny. Before this, platforms like YouTube and Patreon also disrupted industries by allowing creators to generate income directly. But TikTok's reach and rapid growth made it too big to ignore, especially since it's not controlled by the usual suspects. But let's dig deeper, okay? Because a part of this financial freedom is recognizing the economic reality of corporate greed. Okay, so in digging deeper into what this TikTok ban means for the everyday worker, have you ever stopped to wonder why billion-dollar companies like Walmart, like McDonald's, or even tech giants like Facebook are so obsessed with maintaining control over the narrative? It's because they thrive on keeping us US dependent. This TikTok ban isn't just about apps, it's about limiting our economic mobility. The billionaire class does not want more people joining their rank. They want to keep you working paycheck to paycheck so you will stay compliant to their system. They want a society where the majority barely gets by while the small elite profits off our labor. We've seen this recently with a heartbreaking example. A worker at a major healthcare company, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, passed away unexpectedly, leaving behind a family and not enough financial resources for a funeral. What did the company do? They sent out a mass email with a GoFundMe link. Yes, a company with executives making millions couldn't provide enough pay or benefits to ensure one of their own could afford a basic burial insurance policy. This is the system we live in. It's not by accident. It is by design. This is why there's been so much emphasis with this incoming Trump administration about implementing Project 2025. Project 2025 limits the digital apparatuses for social media, especially if you're an OnlyFans or Just for Fans content creator. You'll be finding other alternatives that are less explicit, okay? Also, they're limiting fundings for education, so your children will be stuck in a class system where meritocracy, the last best chance for economic mobility in this country, will be eradicated. Furthermore, they're doing away with the social safety nets for the lower class in this country. And what does that do? That has you basically living as an indentured servant to whatever billionaire or corporation that will provide menial work and minimum pay. But let's talk about reason number 2. The reason why TikTok is having this issue is that it's not run by a white male. TikTok leadership, a Singaporean CEO, is an affront to the narrative of white male dominance in tech. Platforms like Facebook, run by men like Mark Zuckerberg, have dominated for decades, often failing upward while silencing innovation. TikTok shattered that mold, and they can't handle it. Let's talk about the reason TikTok is under fire. TikTok disrupted the social media monopoly, threatening platforms like Facebook and Twitter, which are dominated by white male CEOs. Elon Musk brought Twitter, X, whatever, to shape narratives, political, social, and cultural. Mark Zuckerberg is over at Facebook dismantling DEI initiatives, claiming to care while pushing policies that screen profit over people. And congressional oversight, please. Congress only pushed the TikTok ban because they assume creators and consumers would flock to Facebook and X. Oh, and a considerable amount of elected congressional and senatorial office holders have enormous amounts of money invested in Facebook, X, and Tesla. Talk about tipping the scales of balance, right? The hypocrisy of American innovation. Now let's address the elephant in the room, racism. Platforms like TikTok, even the up-and-coming RedNote, are often criticized more harshly simply because they're not U.S. owned and their leadership isn't white. Look at the hearings of the TikTok CEO. There was a clear undertone of racial bias in the questioning. Contrast that with how U.S.-based CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk are treated. And the double standard is clear. It is obvious. Even Fanbase, a black-owned platform, faces challenges not because it's of innovation, but because of the stigma attached to being black-owned. This highlights a broader issue of anti-blackness, not just for external communities, but sometimes from within our own. If we want these platforms to succeed, we need to break free from the psychological barriers that prevent us from supporting our own. Yes, we have to divorce ourselves from the psychological and sociological programming that both consciously and subconsciously prop up the notion that it's not right if it ain't white. It's time to divest from white fragility and white approval concepts. America loves to sell the idea that it's the land of innovation, yet every time a non-white or foreign competitor challenges that narrative, the rules suddenly change. They tell you to bootstrap and grind and pull yourself up and whatever else, but when you do, they're the first ones to block your success. Look at the anti-Chinese rhetoric, the xenophobia around TikTok and RedNote. And don't forget the subtle and not so subtle ways black-owned platforms like Fanbase are dismissed or ignored in mainstream tech spaces and mainstream media. The hypocrisy is clear for all to see. Now, let's talk about what happens when you tell 170 million Americans they can't have something. When the government targets TikTok, what happens? People move, they find alternatives. Enter RedNote, the Chinese-owned app that became the #1 downloaded app in the US overnight. And let's not forget about Fanbase, a black-owned platform designed to put creators first. While RedNote is proving competition is global, Fanbase is showing us that the black X excellence in tech is here to stay. But here's the challenge. Both platforms are navigating systems designed to undermine their systems. From xenophobia targeting RedNote to the anti-blackness bias Fanbase faces, the struggle is real. RedNote, or Chao Zhai Hong Shu, that's the Chinese name, has exploded in the US thanks to the TikTok ban drama. But let's keep it real. It's still a Chinese-owned app. That means it's already facing the same xenophobia and regulatory threats TikTok dealt with. The question is, how will RedNote adapt? They'll need to localize their app, address data privacy concerns, and win over an American audience that's skeptical of anything foreign, except for Elon Musk. Sidebar, I knew Elon Musk couldn't be trusted with the untreated gingivitis on his teeth. The way his teeth looks as if he chews on bricks all day. That's when I knew I couldn't trust him, okay? How are you a billionaire, but your teeth look like you're chewing on baseball bats? I don't know what that is, but yeah, I can't trust him. But I want to take some time to delve deeper into Fanbase, the underrated alternative. Fanbase, created by Isaac Hayes III, is a Black-owned platform designed to empower creators through monetization. The model is simple. You create and you get paid directly. No algorithm games, no middleman. But here's the issue. Again, the anti-blackness. Even within the Black community, we've been conditioned to undervalue our own. Fanbase isn't just fighting Instagram or YouTube, it's fighting centuries of psychological programming. This is why it's critical for creators, especially Black creators, to support platforms like Fanbase. It's more than just social media, it's a statement of independence. Let's get one thing straight. Competition is supposed to drive innovation. Platforms like TikTok, RedNote, and Fanbase are forcing the tech giants to up their game. But instead of innovating, they're running to Congress crying about national security while using their billions to lobby for protection. This TikTok ban isn't just about one app. It's a test case for silencing platforms that don't align with the status quo. Today it's TikTok. Tomorrow it could be RedNote, Fanbase, or any other platform empowering creators. Now, how does this tie into the bigger picture for Project 25? The TikTok ban is just one piece of a large, very larger puzzle. Have you read the plans outlined in Project 2025? If not, you should. This isn't just about apps, it's about rolling back progress in every area. Our programs, education, worker protection, and yes, digital freedom. It's also about government controlling what you see and what they want you to see. TikTok is not the only casualty this election cycle. Like I said before, OnlyFans and Just for Fans creators, given Project 2025 and the conservative, anal, retentive despots who will be wielding the reins of power, the expectation is that you'll be finding other forms of content to create. Moving right along, we're entering a period where the political, social, and economic landscapes are aligning to benefit the few at the expense of the many. The billionaire class isn't just playing defense, they're on offense, and TikTok is one of their first targets. They won't be the last. The bigger picture, white male mediocrity. Here's what's really happening. They don't want non-white owned platforms thriving because it threatens, again, the narrative of white male supremacy. While it's Mark Zuckerberg who dropped out of Harvard but gets praised as a genius, or Elon Musk who turned Twitter, X, whatever, into his personal playground and literally run a multi-billion-dollar company into the ground. The goal is clear. They want to ensure the system remains rigged in their favor. And let's not ignore the hypocrisy. Zuckerberg tells us education doesn't matter while requiring every senior executive at Facebook to hold advanced degrees. Meanwhile, diverse leaders in tech face unfair scrutiny, and DEI programs are being dismantled left and right. This isn't a coincidence. It's a calculated effort to maintain the status quo. It's performative mediocrity at its finest, and it's time for us to all call it out. And not just to call it out, but to act upon it. And my final thoughts on the situation, the power of collective action. This tick ban isn't just about apps, it's about limiting, again, our economic mobility, okay? And the billionaire class, we see the signs. They want us working paycheck to paycheck.
Keeping a head above water, making a way if you can, temporary layoff.
And it ain't good times. What can we do? For one, stop making it easy for them. You don't have to delete your Facebook account, but take the app off your phone. Use your desktop instead. Do the same for Threads, do the same for, what's the other one? X, Twitter, whatever. When app engagement drops, it hits their pockets. As what we saw today with Facebook, Facebook stock actually went down. What we're seeing now is a flashpoint. From the surging RedNote downloads to the growing interest in platforms like Fanbase, people are waking up. They're tired of being told what they can and can't do by a system that only works for a select few. If we want to fight back, it's going to take more than deleting apps or switching platforms. We need collective action, supporting creators, demanding transparency from lawmakers about their holdings in the stock market, and also the money that they receive through cryptocurrency, and holding tech companies accountable. This isn't just about TikTok. It's about what kind of digital future we want to create. So let's stay loud, let's Let's stay informed and, more importantly, stay ready. Now, what you can do, like I said before, delete apps, not accounts. If you want to hit them where it hurts, delete the app. Like Facebook and Instagram from your phone, engagement drops, ad revenue tanks, and stocks fall. Support alternatives. Platforms like Fanbase and RedNote, for the time being, need our backing. They represent a future where creators hold power. Stay vigilant. The fight isn't just about TikTok. From Project 2025 to corporate greed, the battle for control is ongoing. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep pushing back. Diversify your platforms. If you're a content creator, don't rely on just one app for your income or community. Stay building a presence on alternatives like Fanbase, like RedNote, or even traditional platforms like YouTube. And vote with your wallet. Stop supporting companies that refuse to invest in their employees or perpetuate harmful practices. If a company is dismantling DEI programs, take your money elsewhere. For instance, Walmart, we saw what happened there. They've got rid of their DEI programs. Facebook, DEI programs gone away. Costco, Home Depot, not so much. So guess where I'll be doing my shopping? Plus, I want to try that $100 Wagyu A5 steak that Costco has. So, I'm not going to do no review because it's going to be too much smacking. Anyway, and leverage your financial literacy. If you're earning money through content creation, invest it wisely. This is a new money problem right now. You have so many people out there with money they did not have 5 years ago, and they're probably not going to have it 5 years from now because they're not diversifying their assets to secure their future. That way, you don't let sudden platform changes leave you vulnerable. And again, we have to push for accountability. Don't just call out the hypocrisy. Why are foreign-owned apps being scrutinized while U.S.-owned platforms with similar data practices get a pass? Demand transparency and fairness from the lawmakers. This fight isn't just about TikTok or RedNote. It's about creating spaces where we aren't dependent on platforms run by people who don't have our best interests at heart. That's why we need to support alternatives like Fanbase, which is Black-owned and focused on helping creators monetize their content fairly. Yes, it's small now, but its potential is massive. They're coming for our platforms, our autonomy, our ability to thrive outside of their control. But we have the power to adapt, pivot, and build something better. The question is, are you ready to fight for it? Well, it looks like our time is up. I thank you for making the time to go through it to the end with me. Like, share, and subscribe, please, and thank you.